Malaysian 370, contact Ho Chi Minh 120.9. Good night.
Good night, Malaysian 370.
Breaking news tonight, a Malaysia Airlines flight with 239 people on board, including 4 Americans, has gone missing.
From the Hindu scripture, the Bhagavad Gita. Vishnu is trying to persuade the prince that he should do his duty, and to impress him takes on his multi-armed form and says, "Now I am become death, the destroyer of worlds."
Welcome, everybody, to the live stream. Yes, it is an emergency live stream, even though normally I do stream on Wednesdays. I decided to go ahead and just give you guys a live stream, even though it's a little bit later than normal, guys, tonight. We have to talk. What the hell is going on? Holy shit. Welcome, everybody, to the live stream. If you're not familiar, I'm your host, Ashton Four Orbs. And we discuss science, physics, technology, engineering, UFOs, and apparently blue beam alien invasions. Blue beam alien invasions. So I really, really want to get my clip from Emerald Robinson, because I was on with Emerald Robinson tonight, and I had a really good clip with her talking about what's going on with all this drone stuff that's happening. But in lieu of that, I think we're just going to talk about it. We have got to figure out what the hell is going on with this East Coast drone thing. If you guys are not familiar somehow, there has been honestly, we've actually reached the point of mass hysteria. We are on full-on mass hysteria, mass formation psychosis at this point. We have congressional hearings that were just happening today as well. And we reached the point now, too, where all of the mainstream accounts are now reporting out, the non-UFO accounts. And what videos are they showing? Well, they're showing all the videos of satellites and airplanes and what have you that are just flying over, like the time-lapse video that I talked about on Monday. You got like 10 different people sharing that. Now, I do want to say, we're not actually going to even bother looking at those videos today. We are going to probably look at a couple clips about the major news that was brought up today. Yeah, Iranian mothership. Believe it or not, that was actually a real thing today for at least a few hours. Iranian mothership. We are going to probably look at a few clips. I do want to address the one video that I shared that very well could be a star. I mean, I shared a video of a telescope. You know what? Let's just look at it. We're going to do a little bit of social media viewing today, guys. It's going to be a more casual live stream. So we're going to dig into this whole thing. I want to hear your guys' theories as well. I want to hear what your guys' theories are on this. Yeah, the mothership thing is wild, chat. Okay, here's the video that I was sharing. Let me get this up. Now, people may say, Ashton, why are you sharing this janky video? This is just a star or something. Because, man, we've been waiting for 2 weeks for anything, and all I've seen over and over and over again. What the hell? Why is this not working? God dang. Okay, there we go. All I've seen over and over and over again.
Up in the sky.
Let me mute this. Is airplanes and satellites. That's all I've seen over and over again. So finally, someone shows me at least something a little bit more interesting than that. This could very well be just some kind of bright light or star in the distance, which is giving this shimmer effect from being like not focused in on correctly. I don't really know. Very well could be, but at least it's better than the other garbage that we've seen so far. And the thing that I can't get over is how there isn't any better videos. There's no better videos, guys. Thank you for this donation, Bobby Gems. Get in front of Congress. I mean, it's not up to me, man. So there's no better videos out there right now. And that's the thing. It's like, this is supposedly happening in the daytime too. Well, where exactly are these things during the daytime? How come all the videos are at nighttime? If this is just some normal drones, can't they just video them, film them? Why aren't we seeing them? So anyway, this whole saga exploded today. Like, I got to tell you guys about this. My phone and DMs and everything were just going insane today. I get a message from Emerald Robinson's people early this morning. They want to talk to me. They want to talk about the drone thing. They want to talk about the Christopher Mellon thing. They want to talk about the orbs. And then I get a direct message and a call from the New York Post. The New York Post. They wanted to talk to me. So I spoke to a journalist with the New York Post. We actually spoke about MH370, but the piece isn't about MH370. She just wanted to know because she had been following me for a long time, apparently. And so I, told her whatever answer to the questions that she wanted to know. And then, so I gave my feedback, and I'm going to go through that feedback. So I'm probably going to be quoted in the New York Post tomorrow, I think. I'm not really 100% sure. Pretty funny, though, right? Oh, hey, it's this guy. Should we talk about this guy? Ashton Forbes is a grifter. Please see my profile for more information. This guy, I don't know who this crank is, but there was a little interaction that we had. It's pretty funny how so many people have been indoctrinated in academia and they've been taught incorrectly. And it's funny to watch and see them malfunction when you give them the experimental evidence and proof that they're wrong. Like, a lot of people, the brainwashed people, will think that 0-point energy is this small amount of energy that's out there. And you just say, well, Richard Feynman won the Nobel Prize in 1965 for quantum electrodynamics. You ever heard of quantum mechanics? He basically invented the current model that we believe in for quantum mechanics. With Julian Schwinger, he won the Nobel Prize in 1965. And he calculated that the 0-point energy is so large that 1 cubic meter of empty space has enough energy to vaporize all the Earth's oceans. All the Earth's oceans. You heard that correctly. Richard Feynman of the Manhattan Project, the people that developed the atomic bomb, and Nobel Prize winner for quantum electrodynamics, said that 1 meter of empty space has enough energy to vaporize all the Earth's ocean. Does that sound like a insignificant amount of 0-point energy? No. The real energy density of the 0-point energy field, or the ether, or whatever you want to call it, is infinite. It's infinite. It's like taking a teaspoon of water out of the ocean. Is there a gap in the ocean? No, it doesn't do anything to the ocean when you do that. The ocean immediately fills in. And then people say, well, you can't extract it. There's no way to extract it. And this is hilarious. This is literally exactly the same as the anti-science people that thought there was no way that we could transmit voice via wires in the late 1800s. It was pseudoscience. You can't throw your voice over wires. That's witchcraft. It's like, these people do not think for themselves ever. They just think that, like, whatever exists is all there is, and there's no way to improve upon it unless the mainstream media were to tell me that, right? And you just go, well, Robert Forward in 1984 realized that you can use the Casimir effect, which the Casimir effect is if two plates are just next to each other at very close distance, they come together. That right there is free energy. Why? Because no one's pushing those plates together. Just the plates being together causes a force. What is energy? Energy is what is that? Energy is the ability to do work. Sorry, there's a weird looking bug right there that I've never seen. Energy is the ability to do work, which means the ability to generate a force. So if just by having two plates next to each other, a force is generated, that's very weird. That's kind of like free energy. And then people will say, but you can't actually turn that into energy. And Robert Forward showed in 1984 paper, you can pull it up, that yes, you can. You can use that work to charge a battery. Therefore, you can turn that into electrical energy. And then the last thing people will say is, well, you can't repeat the process. Plates come together. You have to spend energy to pull them apart. Yeah, that's why we don't use two plates. That's why we use plasma, because in plasma, there are no plates. In plasma, all you have are free electrons and ions floating around. So there you go. So it's so easy to dunk on these people because you tell them this, and then they literally malfunction. They malfunction. If you're just jumping on right now, we are talking about cosmology. I argued with like one real physicist and one person pretending to be a physicist in the last 24 hours. And they immediately melt down the moment you point out the fact that general relativity is obviously wrong because dark energy and dark matter are unexplained. Therefore, there's something wrong with general relativity. It's not in question. And then they just start repeating the same thing over and over again. This is impossible. This is impossible. It's like Westworld, where the people are like, it looks like nothing to me. It looks like nothing to me. It's not really worth like engaging when people like have these kind of malfunctions. The best part, though, is this, and we're going to get back to the topic at hand in a second. You just ask these people, where do you think the energy is coming from? Like, I'm going to show you guys something. You know what? I think, are my lights on? Do these people think that the lights in this room are beaming through the wires at the speed of light from the power plant? If that's true, how come when I turn this light off, it turns off instantly? Instantly. Shouldn't there be like a slight delay as the power is flowing from the power plant to my house? Because it's not. That's why. In fact, how do they think alternating current works? Alternating current is just flipping the electrons back and forth. So the electrons are actually never getting to your house. So it's funny because a lot of people that are so confident that they understand their view of the universe can't even explain the most basic fundamental question. Where is energy coming from? Where's it coming from? Okay. Now let's dig into this. That's a crazy analogy. You're not shutting off the power plant. You're breaking the circuit right there in your house. Yes, and so the power is sitting there waiting for me in the wire. I mean, the power is constantly coming out of this. You know what? That may be a good argument. That may actually be a good argument. The better counter argument, you're right. The better counter argument is if you just watch the Veritasium video, you can see if you were to spread the wires horizontally, like all the way around the world, but I were to just have the switch and the light being right next to each other and you flip it on, the power is objectively not flowing through. I mean, it does go around the wires, but the power gets to the light bulb before the electrons or any power or any field can flow through the wires to get to the bulb. Check out the Veritasium video if you doubt me. What this means is that the power is flowing through space. It's flowing through the fields that are being created. Sorry, there's that crazy bug. So yes, the energy is technically coming from all around us. It's really, in my opinion, the only logical explanation. I'm not sure where else people think the energy is coming from. And a lot of the times, if you were to ask them, you would just say, how do you think alternating current works? Do you think the generator is converting kinetic energy into electrical energy? Am I converting wind into electricity? What does that even mean? Or is it just that as long as the wire is spinning, energy is flowing? That's a big difference. Yeah, this is a dude. There's a weird bug. I think you guys just saw it. I think I just heard it die. Okay. Weird. Now, let's start watching some of these clips. We're not going to talk about MH370 today. So you can find my other work, guys. Part of it as well is that I've done enough interviews on MH370. Just watching my interviews on that. There's not really anything new to talk about on that. Instead, I want to talk about what the hell is going on with all this drama. So here is a clip of the drones over Iran. Here's actually a pretty good question by Bobby. Thank you very much, Bobby. Let me hit your other donations. Thank you for all your donations. I appreciate you. I hope it doesn't take 10 years as well, but it might. It might. Look at it this way. This technology could take 100 years to get out. So even if it takes 10 years, we've increased the timeline tenfold. We've shortened the timeline, tenfold. Okay. So let's pull up this one.
Of New Jersey, member of the...
Okay, here we go. So this is the clip that made all the stir today. This is Congressman Van something or other. Here we go.
In focus now, Republican Congressman Jeff Van Drew of New Jersey, member of the House Judiciary Committee on the Hill right now. How do you address this at this point?
Well, here's the real deal, Harris. You know, I'm also on the Transportation Committee, on the Aviation Subcommittee, and I've gotten to know people. And from very high sources, very qualified sources, very responsible sources, I'm going to tell you the real deal. Iran launched a mothership, probably about a...
Okay. What? I'm going to tell you from very high sources, very reliable sources, Iran launched a mothership. Okay. What? What the? I have so many questions, chat. I have so many questions. What the hell is a mothership? How does a mothership launch drones? And how do drones fly through the water, since there are reports that these things are also coming out of the water? I am very confused by this. Why use the term mothership? Because I don't know. That's the term they're using. In fact, I don't understand anything about this. Why is he using the term mothership at all? Am I supposed to believe that Iran, okay, guys, Iran, this is the country that their president just died in a helicopter crash that was most likely shot down by a directed energy weapon or some kind of sabotage. There's no way that the helicopter, out of 3 helicopters in formation, just the one with the Iranian president on it magically went down a few months ago. Right after they shot a bunch of rockets at Israel. Right after they shot a bunch of rockets at Israel. We're supposed to believe that this same country, who couldn't prevent their president from getting shot down in their helicopter, they are now releasing motherships? What the hell is even a mothership? Is a mothership in the air? Is a mothership in the water? Where's the images of this mothership? I actually can't believe that this person is being this serious about it. If somebody tells me they're coming from a mothership, one of my sources, I'm going to say, dude, you got to show me a picture, man. I'm like, you got to show me a picture. Like, what the hell are we even talking about here? What are we even talking about? So let's keep going, see if this gets any less of a shit show.
Months ago, that contains these drones. That mothership is off. I'm going to tell you the deal. It's off the east coast of the United States of America. They've launched drones, is everything that we can see or hear. And again, these are from high sources. I don't say this lightly. Now, you know, we know there was a probability it could have been our own government. We know it's not our own government because they would have let us know. It could have been some...
Guys, sorry. We know it would... Let's go full screen. Guys, we know it's not our government. They would have let us know. Your government never lies to you. Your government will let you know if it was your government. Obviously, it's an Iranian mothership. Jesus. Okay. I honestly, when I heard that, that's when I should have been even more suspicious than I was.
Really glorified hobbyists that were doing something unbelievable. They don't have the technology. But let's pretend that's possible. The third possibility was somebody, an adversarial country, doing this. Know that Iran made a deal with China to purchase drones, motherships, and technology in order to go.
Wait, bro. Okay, now we're making claims that should be pretty easy to like give me some support. Iran, we know Iran bought motherships from China. Guys, if I Google Iran buying motherships from China, is anything gonna pop up? Let's look. Iran motherships from China. It's literally just this clip is all the links. All 5 hours ago, no Iranian drone mothership off the coast, blah, 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 blah. Okay, this is getting pretty wild. We're gonna let's play him out.
Forward. The sources I have are good. They can't reveal who they are because they are speaking to me in confidentiality. These drones should be shot down. Whether it was some crazy hobbyist that we can't imagine, or whether it is Iran, and I think it very possibly.
Bro, crazy hobbyist. This hobbyist thing. Do people really think there's like Tony Stark out there, like Iron Man's out there, and he's like making orbs or some kind of drones and we're like releasing them out there? Like what do people actually think here? There's a 0% chance this is a hobbyist. These are not hobbyist drones coming out of the water or wherever the hell they're saying they're coming from. Certainly not from a mothership or any of this other stuff. This is actually a good point. There was, guys, this does remind me of the 4chan leaker that claimed that there was some kind of underwater craft building UFOs to spec. It is eerily similar to that story, but hang on, pump the brakes. Guys, we're going to get to all the possible reasons here in a minute after we watch some of these clips.
It could be, they should be shot down. We are not getting the full deal, and the military is on alert with this.
Look, you've given us some pretty dire information just here, and I want to make sure that our viewers are digesting this.
How is it, guys? Yeah, this is the craziest shit. These are the people that don't believe in quantum mechanics, that think that teleportation is insane people stuff. Anti-gravity is insane people stuff. Hey, here's all the scientific papers that say it's not. No, that's insane people stuff. The normal people believe that alien motherships or Iranian motherships are deploying drones off the coast, and we just don't have any images of them or pictures or anything. And yes, we just, we're not going to say anything about that. Like, it is just kind of crazy. Today has been a crazy day.
Iran has the capability to pull up along our eastern seaboard.
How is she not laughing? How is she not laughing at this? This is Fox News. These people laugh at everything UFO related, except for when a congressman comes on and says that an Iranian mothership is dropping UFOs off the East Coast for the last month, and we've done nothing about it.
And launch drones the size of an SUV into the skies of several states, particularly New Jersey, where we know the incoming president has a large home, also in the same county or nearby where some of these drones in New Jersey have been seen. That capability exists. It's possible some of those drones are here. So I have two questions. How are they fueling them? They have to land somewhere. Drones don't fly forever. Why don't they close down the airspace? Yes, it's inconvenient. Yes, it's the holidays. Shut it down. But if you start shooting things and you don't know how they're fueled, that's going to be mass explosions. This isn't like one spy balloon. Congressman, this is serious.
We've got to bring them down, and we've got to find a way to bring them down. I don't know exactly where they're landing. Obviously, I have some information. And again, this isn't just Jeff Van Drew. Oh, let's get on Harris Faulkner's show and say something outrageous. I'm telling you the straight deal from very high positioned individuals who are telling me this. And the bottom line is they're launching them. They are across the country. We don't even have anything like this. No. Our government, and also certainly our hobbyists don't. So think about it. It's not only do I have the information, but it's also common sense. We've got to get them.
Okay, guys. I can't listen to this guy anymore. Honestly, I literally can't. There's Discord and like. So basically, we don't have anything like this, but Iran has alien motherships or whatever the hell this guy's talking about here. He thinks that we don't have anything like this, but Iran has this. It's just common sense, chat. It's common sense that we couldn't possibly have advanced. What are we? Just the most powerful militarized nation on Earth by like a mile? No other country is even remotely close to us, but somehow Iran leapfrogged us into mothership technology. Like what is this? Is the craziest shit ever, chat. What the hell, man? So let's go to this other thing here. So here's the thing about Iran that I want to point out to you guys. There actually is a weird line of argument here, not what that guy was saying, but just in general. It turns out that there was an incident in 2011 where Iran hacked a Lockheed Martin RQ-170 Sentinel. We're going to actually use Wikipedia here. It hurts me. It hurts me to click on it, guys. And the United States disputed that it had been shot down. But it turns out they literally hacked it and they landed it in one piece. And the reason why it's argued that the United States would not admit it is because they didn't want to admit that our adversaries had the capability to hack our drones and land them. Now you may say, okay, why is this interesting? They captured this drone and they reverse engineered it and they made their own version of this drone. Yeah, this was actually pretty badass by Iran. Like this is like they're a small country and they hacked one of our super advanced spy drones and they landed it and then they reverse engineered it and made their own version of it. That's pretty sick, chat. That's pretty sick. And it looks like they never really followed up. This is one of those things, too, where the United States acknowledges that a drone was lost, but then they say nothing else. And this is what they do is they use plausible deniability where they just don't admit that, like, Iran hacked it. Clearly, Iran's not lying. Iran landed. How do we know that? Because they literally reverse engineered it and made their own versions of it. Like, literally, that happened. So the other thing that's interesting about this, and it's not in the Wikipedia thing, so don't worry about that, but there were a lot of rumors at the time that those drones were using some electrostatic propulsion mechanism or lift mechanism to minimize the amount of fuel they needed. That's really interesting. Why? Because that has been rumored for our spy planes. People say they're using UFO technology. And we've already looked into the whole hypersonic sheath or plasma sheath that they use for hypersonic flight. And if they want to create lift, you use the Byfield-Brown effect, where you have asymmetrical capacitors, right? And you create this lift just through charges. If you use that on your wings of your craft, you get free lift. Pretty interesting. So, it's not actually entirely outside the realm of plausibility that the drones could be Iran. They could be Iran because they literally reverse engineered our super secret drones. But if that's the case, why aren't we seeing images of them? That drone that I just showed there is a giant drone with a huge wing on it. If people were recording that in the sky, we're going to see it. It's going to be clearly a spy drone. There's one other thing that's interesting about the Iran angle. The Iran angle as well is that they claimed just 2 weeks ago that they had weapons more powerful than nuclear bombs. Iran claimed that a couple weeks ago. Pretty wild. Okay. Let's look at the follow-up. The follow-up's not nearly as long. It's only like 25 seconds. So the Pentagon is going to deny this. And it's honestly not going to make anything any more clear. It just makes everything even more confusing. Here we go.
Who's a Republican from New Jersey, was just on the air saying that Iran launched a mothership probably about a month ago that contains these drones, and that mothership is off the coast of the east coast of the United States. Is there any truth to that?
There is not any truth to that. There is no Iranian ship off the coast of the United States, and there's no so-called mothership launching drones towards the United States. Phil.
How can she say that with such confidence? She just confidently said, okay, there's no Iranian ship off the coast. There's no mothership. Now, for sure, it's silly, right? It's silly, but my point being, how can you say that with confidence unless you know what it really is? Unless you know where they're really coming from. So let's see how she finishes this up.
Who's a Republican from New Jersey, was just on the air saying that Iran launched a mothership probably about a month ago that contains these drones, and that mothership is off the coast of
Wait, did this just restart? Okay, whatever.
States. Is there any truth to that?
There is not any truth to that. There is no Iranian ship off the coast of the United States, and there's no so-called mothership launching drones towards the United States. Phil.
Who's a Republican from New Jersey.
Oh, that was it. Okay, I thought, okay. So that was not, there was a longer version of the clip. Apparently I don't have the longer version of the clip. So in the longer version, I'm just going to bridge give the abridged version because I don't want to go through all this bullshit with you guys. It's just, there's too much going on here. But basically she says they know it's not the United States military. And she says it's none of our rivals either. What? Okay. So what's left? What's left then? So one person says it's Iran and then it's motherships. Then the United States government says, no, it's not Iran. It's not motherships. It's not the United States military. And they also say that it's not any of our adversaries. So who is it then? So who is it? Is it the aliens? I mean, it's got to be somebody. And yes, we're going to get to the main show. S-Spears, guys. Well, we have some insider information on this. We know the United States government knows what's going on with the drones. We know. We know 100%. Why do we know? Because we know that we have a global, persistent, infrared satellite surveillance system. There's no way that our satellites are not catching these drones in extremely high quality. And our satellite system is in infrared. So it's in infrared, meaning that even if it's just like a ball of energy, we're still going to have extremely detailed sensor information about it. Play the clip, chat. Dun, dun, dun.
Persistent infrared surveillance continues to be a critical national security space mission. The Cold War focus on strategic ICBM systems has expanded to include short and mid-range ballistic missile threats. The Defense Support Program maintains the legacy Cold War monitoring to warn of ICBM missile launches against the U.S. The replacement program is the Space-Based Infrared System, or SBIRS, which has already provided 2 infrared sensor payloads in highly elliptical orbits, or HEO. The SBIRS program is also deploying multiple spacecraft into geosynchronous Earth orbit, or GEO. Each has 2 independent infrared sensors. One is a scanner dedicated to missile warning with full Earth monitoring. The other sensor is a taskable starer that can focus on selected regions. Each pair of sensors acts simultaneously and independently of each other, providing a robust, taskable infrared platform. SBIRS is the nation's next generation of space-based infrared surveillance. The program has already proven its value with successful HEO payloads on orbit. With deployment of the GEO spacecraft, SBIRS will be an unprecedented resource as the nation's global, taskable, and persistent infrared monitoring sentinel.
Lockheed Martin. We never forget who we're working for. Holy shit, chat. That video is 10 years old. That system was online in 2013. It is 2024. We have thousands of satellites in outer space. We probably have hundreds of satellites connected to SBIRS. How are we going to... No, they cannot evade geo satellites. No, they cannot. They cannot. That's not a thing that these things can do. There is no escape from our surveillance capabilities. And they're not in optical, they're in infrared. And in fact, there's some reports that we have hyperspectral cameras as well, which is even more than that. Like basically seeing everything that's out there. Whatever these are, the people saying we don't know what they are, either they're completely just in the dark or they're full of shit. The people that should be weighing in should be the NRO, the National Reconnaissance Office. They shoot the satellites in outer space. The NGA, the National Geospatial Agency, or the NSA, the National Security Agency. We learned exactly how this works. I don't have a clip for it, but we found the video of John Ramirez. So I'm just going to show you the video in general so that you guys know it's legit. I don't know exactly the timestamp in here. Here it is. So this is John Ramirez.
Now, the first thing that the NGA analyst would do.
Oh, here it is. Okay, this I actually found. I just literally clicked randomly at 7 minutes in. He's literally explaining the process of what would happen if the analysts that are the NGA analysts looking at that satellite data, he explains right here how the process works. Ready?
Was to eliminate plausible explanations. It seems reasonable. Let's look at Occam's razor. Let's see what it could be. So that's where the weapons intelligence analysts will come into play. Looking at the inventory of China and Russia, what do they have that could do similar things? Now let's say that one of the craft in the Russian inventory, the MiG-31, carries on board a stealth plasma stealth generator.
Sorry, what did you just say, John Ramirez? Did you just say if one of the MiGs has a stealth plasma generator on board? Let's hear that again, chat. Let's go back like 5 seconds.
One of the craft in the Russian inventory, the MiG-31, carries on board a stealth plasma stealth generator. And the plasma stealth generator can produce a similar type of electro-optical signature to these types of satellites collecting imagery. But the weapons intelligence analysts eliminated the MiG-31 because, first of all, the MiG-31 cannot fly above 123,000 feet. It still floats that record above 123,000 feet for an air-breathing craft. It usually flies between 85 to 100,000 feet in a combat mode, designed to look down and shoot down a fast-moving aircraft. And what would that be? The SR-71. And that is why the SR-71 doesn't fly anymore. It's very vulnerable. So the NGA and NRO together.
Damn, I just got to the... you guys got to love me today. I just got to the exact right moment that we needed to get to. I actually have to clip this later because we have to post this. People have no fucking clue how our intelligence... Guys, people have no idea how our intelligence apparatus works, like, at all. People are out here going, the United States government knows, we obviously must know. Well, okay, explain how it is that we know. I can literally explain exactly how I know 100% that we know what's going on with the drones. We've got the SBIRS system. John Ramirez is a former GS-15 CIA agent, literally explaining exactly how the process works to get the information from our satellite data sensors to the people who analyze it and determine what it is and what's the threat. He's literally explaining the process for how the intelligence apparatus figure out what these drones are. This is years ago. Okay, let's go back.
Decide that they need to deep dive into what is going on. And they create a working group. And they invite subject matter experts from all the major intelligence agencies and their contractors. And they create a compartment for this. effort, and they meet at an NGA facility.
Meet at NGA
and let's
facility.
say that they studied this in depth, and they looked at every plausible, unusual explanation, going back to the UFO files and its disposal for this working group, because they have the SAP compartment to look at them. And they decide that, okay, there is something up there, like orbs, that we cannot explain. And they brief the director of national intelligence.
Hold on, John Ramirez. Hold on. Did he just say light orbs? Did he just say light orbs, chat? I think I heard the words light orbs. Let me go back.
That, okay, there is something up there, like orbs.
Light orb. What? I don't think he said life forms. I think he said light orbs.
That, okay, there is something up there, like orbs, that we cannot explain. And they brief the director of national intelligence at that point. And they write a report for the director of national intelligence. And the office of the director of national intelligence, they will queue up something called decision levers, because they need to brief the highest level of government, the president of the United States. And you never take a problem to the president. You take solutions. And that's what the decision levers are. There are options that the president can execute. And attached to every decision lever are possible outcomes and an assessment of unintended consequences. And it's up to the president to decide what he or she might want to do.
Okay, there we go. That's the whole story. So he's saying like orbs, not light orbs. Either way, still fine. Doesn't rule out light orbs. In fact, in that same interview, right after that, he tells a story about energy orbs. Right after that, a personal story about energy orbs in that interview. Not even joking. No cap, as the kids say. So we just learned exactly how the system operates. The spatial analysts at the NGA find something unusual. They have a weapons expert look at it, determine who could it be, and then they do a briefing and they come up with solutions. They bring it up to the NSA, and then the director of the NSA, the director of the National Intelligence and the CIA director take that information and they give it to the president. And the president determines, based on the options, what their policy is going to be about whatever is happening with the orbs that he said. So now just replace the word orbs with drones. Same exact thing. So who should we blame, chat? Who's to blame for the fact that we are not being told what's going on with the orbs? Or, sorry, the drones, whatever. Obviously, the director of national intelligence, the NSA, the NGA, the NRO, probably the CIA, and the president of the United States. President Biden, why has President Biden not spoken about this drones? Do you think if President Trump was in office right now, do you really think he wouldn't have made a statement yet? Of course he would have made a statement by now. It's been weeks of this shit going on. Biden has said nothing. Why? Because he's a little puppet and he's got dementia and he can barely say a damn word. And he's the puppet masters are basically the intelligence communities pulling the strings. It's absolutely absurd. So let's talk about a couple other things, and we're going to talk about what could be going on with this. Okay. So I actually agree with the congressman earlier that we have to shoot these things down. If they are not lying, and these are not United States military technology or intelligence community technology that we're seeing, we have to shoot them down. It's actually insane that we wouldn't be shooting them down. And we don't have to shoot them down with a missile. Hit it with an EMP. Just hit it with an EMP. What are we talking about here? Why is it that we are not taking action? And you say, Ashton, well, why? Well, what if they're aliens and you're invoking a intergalactic war? First of all, I don't give a fuck. I don't care about intergalactic wars. Second of all, what if they have warheads on them? What if there is a nuclear weapon on board one of these drones and you're just letting it fly above New York City? Has anyone thought about that? Does that really not come across anyone's mind that they might have weapons on them? Missiles, bombs? People are like, nah, just let the drones fly around over our major cities on the East Coast. Kidding me? Have people not seen the videos out of the Ukraine where little tiny commercial drones are fitted with bombs and they're flying into people and blowing them up? Suicide bomb drones? Can you imagine if drones start flying around and suicide bombing random American civilians? There would be absolute pandemonium. People would be going completely crazy. They would be going wild. So, of course, we have to take action and take these drones down, which implies that they're obviously not a threat, and they know they're not a threat, which means they know exactly what they are. They must know exactly what they are. Now, the interviewer on that first interview that we watched about the Iranian mothership, she said, what's the energy source? What's their fuel source? That was a great question. I missed that the first time. People are saying these things are floating up there for 6 or 7 hours. Do you guys know the longevity of a commercial drone is only 20 to 30 minutes? Yeah, Google it. 20 to 30 minutes. That is how long a commercial drone can stay in the air. 20 to 30 minutes. So right away, we can say there's no chance these are commercial drones. 20 to 30 minutes? No, these things are in the air for hours. So it's not a commercial drone. Not a hobbyist. Nothing like that. It's not Iron Man. It's not Tony Stark out there, guys. For my jetpack lovers, I know there's a lot of you out there. This ain't no Iron Man. But that's what people should be asking. What's the energy source? So that interviewer is smart. Because if it is a plasma orb or what have you, we know that it's not radiating energy. So it's basically not losing any energy. And it may be cohering energy directly from the vacuum, from the ether, from the 0-point energy field. And we need to be asking that question because people literally just ignore any information that they can't reconcile. For example, I asked Ponderbuck, take it easy, brother. There's your quote. I actually told the New York Post reporter that we need to be asking about the energy source. And she asked me, what do you think about directed energy weapons? And I was like, of course directed energy weapons are real. I was like, how do you think the Iron Dome is shooting down these missiles? It's not shooting projectiles up at these missiles. It's crazy to me that people look at the Iron Dome and they literally see the Iron Dome, Israel's Iron Dome, shooting down dozens of missiles almost instantaneously. Boom, 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 shooting all these missiles down. And people are like, they don't even ask how that's happening. Nobody even asks how that's happening. What are they doing? How are they doing that? How are they shooting enough energy up at those missiles to shoot them, to make them explode in the sky? And people are like, oh, they're shooting rockets up at them. No, they aren't. There's no rockets being shot up at them. There's no engines. All of a sudden, the missile's there. All of a sudden, the missile explodes. Do people not understand that energy, transmitting energy through the air, which is an insulator, that it falls off by the inverse square law? Conventional physics says you can't do that. That's wireless transfer of energy over a long distance. I'm not talking short distance like this. We're talking potentially miles of distance that they're shooting these things down. Somebody's got a triangle over New York New Jersey. Well, we got to break in to go check out the triangle over New Jersey, chat. That's one we can't miss. Did I close everything? Jesus, this is hard. Here we go. Okay, let me hang tight. What was this person's name? Billy Krizik. Okay, don't let me down. If this is I swear to God, if this is a Starlink satellite or some crap like that, I've had enough of that. If this ends up being completely nonsense, yeah, okay, no. I think this is the post. I can't really tell. Let me see. Wait, 784. That's not the right post. This one? 914. I can't find it. For some reason, I can't copy and paste from here to find this one. But I'm looking through here and I'm not seeing anything too impressive. But thank you for sharing anyway. Okay, let's go. Let's just get to the explanations, guys. Yeah, I don't generally review videos for the record. People try to send me stuff, but I'm not a video deduction expert. I'm just an investigator. And if I have a full story, I can figure something out. But just from some video of lights or whatever, you can't figure anything out. Like it's too easy for plausible deniability or for just to deny things with prosaic explanations, unfortunately. Explain how I think that the Iron Dome works. I think that they're shooting directed energy weapons and causing energy to appear at a distance, which explodes the missile in the sky. I don't think it's that deep. I think that if you check out Lockheed Martin's website, you're going to find there's literally a whole page on directed energy weapons on Lockheed Martin's website. I mean, I don't know how else. What is the other explanation? I can't even come up with another explanation. And just, I'm being perfectly honest right now. Like, I would love for somebody to show me the Iron Dome intercepting missiles where I can actually see any missile. Because people literally just say they're shooting missiles. It doesn't even seem possible to be able to do that in the period in which how quickly they're being shot down. Yeah, I have a bad feeling that a lot of you guys that think they're shooting missiles out of the Iron Dome, intercepting these missiles, I think you've succumbed to believing the media at face value rather than believing what you see with your eyes. If missiles were intercepting other missiles and we can literally see the missiles they're intercepting, we should be able to see the missiles being used to intercept them. Why? Because they must have a conventional fuel source, which means rockets, which means combustion. If you're shooting a rocket in the sky or a missile in the sky, that missile is visible because you can see the jet propulsion coming off of it. In all the videos of the missiles, the things being shot down by the Iron Dome, you can't see one projectile intercepting them, not in any of them. Whether or not you studied or worked in the Middle East means absolutely fucking nothing. This is the other thing that's so weird. So many people believe that they have some divine credibility because what you lived and worked in the Middle East, that doesn't mean fucking shit. That means literally nothing. Again, just look at the videos of the Iron Dome. This is a fact. There are no visible any propellant, rocket, anything being shot at those missiles that are being shot down. Go ahead and find a video. Share it on my Twitter profile. I'll be happy to see it. Just repeating what you were told is not a good way to spread information. Just look at what you see with your eyes. Anyway. Iron Dome, Iron Beam for you guys out there. I'm not differentiating. It's just whatever. Iron Dome, Iron Beam, it is whatever. Okay. Let's move on. Now, let's talk about what the options are. I'm going to pull up a little notepad here. Let me see if I can find a good window where we can do this where it's not too garbage. Bear with me for just 1 second. Okay, maybe this one? Can you guys read this? Hold on, let me see. Yeah, I can probably zoom in. This is probably a good way to do it. Yeah, okay. Look like this. Sorry, I'm just double checking. I've never used this window. Okay. Let's go, chat. Okay. Okay, I'm not going to argue about the Iron Dome thing anymore. 100%. If you believe that they are shooting projectiles that is intercepting the missiles this has literally happened recently twice. Iran shot a bunch of missiles at Israel on 2 separate occasions. All I ask is a very simple request. Provide me a video from either of those incidents that shows a single projectile hitting one of those incoming missiles. Go. Simple. Can I do bright background? I have no idea how to, wait, is there a way to do black background? I'm sorry, I don't want to look at all that because that might show personal information. Okay. So what are the options? It's us, USA, our military, right? Military. We'll group intel and military together. It might be the private military contractors. This is where I want you guys to go ahead and if you have ideas on what you think that could be, please go ahead and include them. Yeah, I already know I'm right about the dome because I understand basic physics. People think that you're shooting projectiles at other missiles and you can't see the projectiles. Need to start getting a grip on reality. Like I said, go find even one video of it happening. One video. That's all I ask. There literally was just 2 famous incidents that happened in the last couple months. Just go find a video of it. Okay. PMCs. China. Russia. Iran. Let's just group all the rest into other. Okay. Oh, we got to add aliens. Let's say other government. Let's say other adversary. I mean, I don't know who else there really could be. Lockheed falls under PMCs. So if you guys don't understand PMCs, PMCs are private military contractors. Anything else I'm missing for who could be at fault? Let's just group this. The who. Not the WHO. Who is it? Anything else? Demons? We're just going to count demons with angels, okay? Could be demons. Damn, we have triggered people today, guys. I love it. We're not going to include Zionists, guys. We're not going all on that. Just because Israel's directed energy weapons doesn't mean that they're super evil. They might be, but I don't know. Okay, we think this list is good. Great. Satanic Cabal. I'm going to include Satanic Cabal in military, U.S. military here. Deep State also falls underneath U.S. military and intel, guys. Okay. Now, let's talk about the reasons. I think we're good. I can delete all this stuff. I don't think I need this anymore. Why? Let's come up with all the reasons why. Okay? What are the reasons why they would do this? Now, I've heard a few interesting ones that were out there. One reason I heard was that we might be scanning for... actually, there's another one I want to make sure I have it. We're going to come back to that one in a second. Scanning for nuclear weapons, bombs. Or, I don't know, let's say something. Yeah, there's not actually a lot of things that make any sense. Oh, yeah, spying on Trump. That was one of the things that came up. Show of force. That's a good one. I don't know about extortion. Doesn't really make sense. Okay, so let's start talking about a few of these. If you have more options, say them in the chat and we'll get to them. Scanning for bombs. That's an interesting one. So scanning for bombs would imply that this is U.S. military or intel. Because we'd be saying that somebody snuck a weapon somewhere into our country and we are deploying our weird orbs or drones or whatever it is because we're scanning for it. We're trying to figure out where the dirty bomb is at. Something like that. If not a dirty bomb, we're scanning for something, right? Interesting thought. Yeah, false flag to start an offensive war with Iran. I like that too. False flag. And it doesn't have to be with Iran, but it could be. Let's just say with anyone, right? Start a war with anyone. Okay. Could be a distraction. That's another thought. Like, but I don't really like distraction arguments, but let's go through these one at a time. I'm going to actually put distraction at the top. So let's talk about distraction here. Actually, no, let's brainstorm any others that you guys have as well. AI could be who's responsible. I'll put that down. Good. Any other thoughts before we start discussing some of these other options? In combo with NHI, which is why we cannot say it's us. Okay, that's a reasonable answer on here. I mean, we're throwing everything onto the wall. So just brainstorming. So there's no bad answers here. So let's say coordination between NHI and government. So the aliens are working with this or something like that. Okay. I put, let's go, North Korea's on other adversary. North Korea, I don't think it has the capability to pull any of this shit off, personally. Prevention, biblical, testing out how dumb the public is. Some of these wrap up into other ones, guys. Okay, so let's focus on one here at the time. I think we've got the main ones listed out here. Let's talk about each one of these options. Distraction. Generally, I don't like the distraction argument because the distraction argument would say, like, well, what is the bigger thing than whatever alien invasion crap they're trying to play on us here, right? So what are they distracting us from? What's going on that they're distracting us from? I can't really think of anything. I can't really think of anything at the moment. So distraction maybe, but we don't really have anything that they're distracting us from. There's nothing really major happening going on right now. Scanning for nuclear bombs. We already talked about that. Deep state coup. Deep state coup is really interesting. Yeah, maybe this. Okay. Distraction from healthcare CEO, killer guy, assassin. I don't think it's really distracting from that, though. Why? Because there are a bunch of left-wing psychopaths who are like putting this guy on a pedestal like he's some kind of hero, and all he did was put a silencer on a gun and execute a man in cold blood on the middle of the street. A bunch of women are out there talking about how they want to have him raw dog them because they think he's so hot. It's quite literally insane. Oh, could be distracting from funding Ukraine? Yeah, okay. Okay, I like that. Okay. You guys did a good job on that. I don't think distraction from COVID-19 accountability. I don't know about that. COVID-19 is too long ago. I don't see that being legit, but it's a good thought. There's no wrong answers. Let's go to the next one. Deep state coup. You know what? I'm going to put spying for Trump first. Why? Because there is Trump, the big thing that's happening, right, is that Trump is now president. And Trump is about to take over in a month or 6 weeks. So what if they're spying on him? Because he's basically created this all-star cast of people. He's got Elon Musk, the richest man in the world, now worth almost $450 billion. $450 billion. He has Joe Rogan, the most popular podcaster, on his side. He has already listed a bunch of people that he's appointed that the deep state is extremely upset about. So it does kind of make sense that they might be spying on Trump. Now, the thing that doesn't make sense about this is why would they need so many drones? They're not exactly being stealthy here. If they were trying to spy on Trump, I don't think they need to have 1,000 drones spying on him. If it is a deep state coup, that would imply U.S. military. I came up with another one, guys. We're going to get to that one in a second. I'm trying to read the comments at the same time, but it's hard. The deep state coup option is actually kind of interesting. It's pretty out there. It's pretty insane to think. But look at how upset. I'm going to go full screen for a moment. Look at how upset all the people currently in office and the left-wingers are in the intelligence community is at Trump. Chris Mellon was one of the people that wrote on the letter that Trump was not qualified to be president in 2020. Can you believe that? So, what if they are trying to do this because they're doing it to scare Trump into not throwing them all overboard and replacing them all? Now, why would they do that? Because if we have this advanced technology, then perhaps we don't want more people to know about it. If more people know about this technology, like, for example, incoming Director of National Intelligence, Tulsi Gabbard. They hate Tulsi Gabbard. They are afraid of Tulsi Gabbard. What if she finds out that we have free energy technology, 0-point energy technology, and she decides she's going to tell people? Or Kash Patel, who's going to be the incoming FBI director, I believe. Fact check me if I'm wrong on that. What if any of these people find out about this technology and they decide that we shouldn't hide it anymore? What if they decide that, no, we're not going to hide it, we're going to let the people have it? That would be a reason to try to intimidate them. So, could be an intimidation factor or a coup or whatever. It's not really like a coup in the sense that they're going to take over the government, but maybe they're trying to send a message to Trump potentially that he shouldn't appoint people or whatever. I don't know. Let's take a look at some super chats. Psychological surveillance event by the deep state working with, or unfortunately subservient to, satanic Talmudic aliens. I don't know what that word means. I don't know what psychological surveillance event means, but I think that's somewhere mixed in with the ones that I just put on there. But thank you very much for that donation, Jamal. Oh, greater. I don't want to dig too much into the Israel stuff, guys. It's a touchy subject. Okay. Why can't it be MH370 drones? Duck Vision, thank you for the donation. It can be. It absolutely can be. That's part of the problem, is that we don't have any surveillance that's high quality. This is where I wish I was able to play the Emerald Robinson video. I'll get that tomorrow. Let me see if they've actually sent it to me tonight. No, I don't have it yet. Because we need military footage in infrared. It's just optical's not going to cut it at nighttime. We need infrared or thermal or combination multispectral footage, and then we can figure out what's going on. Right now, we don't even know if these things are plasma orbs or conventional drones or anything. We have no idea because nobody's got a single good video that gives us solid data that we can actually rule out other simple prosaic explanations. We don't have anything at the moment. Okay, let's go to this. Okay, so the other options, show of force. So show of force in general. Now, show of force would not imply that our government is responsible. Show of force would imply that perhaps it's another country that wants to do a show of force. Like Iran is trying to do a show of force. And Iran might be saying, hey, we've got this technology, just like they said with the nuclear stuff, and we want to scare the United States government to let them know we've got this crazy technology. Much like how the United States government teleported MH370 to scare our adversaries into, don't mess with us or we'll make you disappear. Right? So it could be a show of force or some, and again, there's many other kind of splinter explanations, but something like that. Show of force could be any of our adversaries. I guess you could say maybe it could be aliens. You could say maybe the aliens are doing a show of force. For the record, I'm not of Jewish persuasion or ethnicity or religion or anything like that, but, you know, believe whatever you want to believe. I really don't care. Okay, let's look at the next option, blue beam. So blue beam would obviously be a mixture of aliens and demons and U.S. military intelligence. And blue beam is the thing that everybody is waiting for. Now, the best argument that I found out there on blue beam was that what if we are just stupid? What if this was our attempt at blue beam, but it's like we're basically perpetuating the blue beam on ourselves because we're sitting out there and we're just having like mass hysteria over videos of airplanes and videos of satellites. And now we've just reached a point where like the people that are so obsessed with aliens visiting us are literally willing to believe anything that's out there is aliens. That could be another twist on the blue beam theory where it's just that, okay, maybe it's a blue beam situation and when they're faking an alien invasion, or maybe they don't even need to fake an alien invasion because humans are just so stupid that we're just going to go crazy no matter what. That's actually kind of scary. Is that, yeah, guys, I have to comment on this in a second. I don't like to change the topic, but that reminded me of something. It's actually horrible, but anyway, I'm going to say it anyway. So there is this theory out there that the blue beam situation could just be like, we're going to like put ourselves into a mass psychosis event and we're just going to make up some crazy thing that's not happening. Just like with like COVID, where we all went crazy over a cold virus that like really wasn't that much of a threat and everybody just went insane. It could be something like that. That's actually more scary to me than pretty much all the other options because we've actually seen that happen already. So it's not beyond the realm of possibility that people will work themselves up into a situation where we imagine a scary alien invasion happening when there's really like nothing happening out there. Pretty crazy. Okay. Did we give Kim.com, I don't know if he had a seizure or a stroke or whatever, but did our video give him a seizure? That happened. If you do the timing on when Kim.com said that he had his stroke or seizure or whatever it was like 4 weeks. It was like around the exact same time that we were posting the video of Kim.com. This one right here. A world where rich douche. That's not it, actually. Wait, what? That's not the right one. Weird. So is it this one? Yeah. So did this video? I'm just gonna skip. We're not gonna watch the whole thing here. Maybe this actually made him have a stroke. I have no idea because he wasn't saying anything, and then he came out after the Candace Owens interview, and he came out super hard against me after not talking for a while. And then if you do the math on it, he had his stroke / seizure right after that Candace Owens interview came out. Right after when we were playing that video shitting on Kim.com. If that is true, I feel actually kind of bad, but I really hope that he learns a valuable lesson, which is he shouldn't get himself worked up over stuff that has nothing to do with him. Nothing to do with him at all. Okay, now let's look at these other super chats here. It's baffling that we do not have a video of someone tracking a single drone for its flight duration. Yeah, this is also pretty weird. It's also weird there's just no civilians that are like underneath the drone. They're all like off in the distance. Now, maybe they're over the water. I don't know. I don't know what Rafael is, but Rafael has more equipment than Lockheed Martin. For example, drone with iron beam. What do you think about that? I have no idea. I don't even know what that is. So, but yes, there could be other PMCs, other private military contractors. Sure. Not sure. Or, you know, it could be anything. I don't know. Rafael can look, again, I don't know what Rafael is, chat. Rafael can locate all possible drones. I can't imagine. Again, we've already shown the satellite capabilities. There's no chance the United States government doesn't know exactly what's up with these drones. No chance. They must know 100%. They know what's going on with it. The question that we're asking here today is, why are they being silent about it? What are the reasons and who is responsible? So no Iranian motherships. It's not looking good for Iranian motherships at the moment. It's not looking good for Iranian motherships. The Pentagon came out pretty hard against it, but we'll see. I didn't think I would be talking about alien invasions for like the 4th time in 2 weeks, but this thing just does not go away. Does not go away, so that's why we're doing this. If you're upset why we're doing this, well, I wasn't planning on streaming anyway tonight, so just consider it a free roll. You have to ask where the drones and motherships originated. I feel like if it was from Iran, then we, the U.S. government, would have seen them take off. Exactly. We would have seen them if they were in the water. We would have heard them with our acoustic system. There is basically no chance that we would not have had some significant detection of these crafts if they were coming from another country. So it's pretty hard. Is it just a Democrat psyop? Yes, it very well could be. We can't rule it out. Very well could be. And for the people that are new to this, the weirdest thing that I've found being part of this UFO community the last year is that every single top UFO, these UFO disclosure people that are going on TV, on Joe Rogan and all this shit, every single one of them is a Trump derangement syndrome left-winger. All of them are. Gary Nolan, George Knapp, Jeremy Corbell, Ross Coulthart, Chris Mellon, Lou Elizondo. All of these dudes have all made public posts. Well, maybe not Ross Coulthart. I'm not sure. I'm just speculating on him. But the rest of them, like basically no doubt, they're all far left wingers and they hate Trump. Isn't that a little bit weird that there's no political balance on the topic whatsoever? And they all are out here going, it must be aliens. It can't possibly be us, everybody. It must be aliens. That's their whole narrative. And now at the same time, we've got drones that are coming in and invading all our country right before Trump takes over. It is pretty weird that from the timing perspective. I thought Lou Elizondo was a Trump supporter as well, but apparently he made some weird post on Facebook right before the election that was like questioning whether or not Trump should be president. If I'm wrong on that, I apologize. I'm just going based on some information that I was told. Okay. Yeah, here we go. Tim Gallaudet in his Soul speech was about diversity in UFO teams. How about diversity in the UFO topic, where it's completely overrun by left-wing nut jobs? How about that? Diversity in UFO teams? Do we need diversity, equity, and inclusion in our UFO research? Jesus Christ. Like, did he really say this? This is like as absurd as me saying, like, if you don't like the mantids, then we need to give you DEI training in alien relations. It's just, how is DEI? How the hell, chat? Like, I'm actually triggered. How the hell is DEI working its ugly ass way into the UFO community? Blows me away. Okay, first shout out to Candace Owens. Candace Owens beat everybody to disclosure. If you watch the Candace Owens interview, I mean, I went through everything on the MH370 case. I started name dropping people that know about the videos or know the videos are real. I explained the science. I told the scientific papers. I explained the engineers that you need to go look at and try and read their papers. I did basically everything I can do. I mean, I don't know what more I can do, honestly. So thank you very much for watching that interview. I think that it's a very important interview to watch if you want to get a concept for what we're really dealing with out here. And keep in mind, I say this as somebody who's a former Democrat. And it's not like just former Democrat for a little while. I'm 42 years old, and I was a Democrat until about 37 years old. So I was a Democrat for like almost 20 years. Almost 20 years. Okay. Let's go back to our list. Let's get, okay, that didn't work. There we go. That's not the right one either. This one? Guys, I got to fix these things. These are, where's the one I want? There it is. Okay. Yes, it is yikes. Triggered easily. It is yikes. It is. And this is why I understand the concept of brainwashing. The reason why I understand the concept of brainwashing is because I've been the brainwashed person before. I've been the brainwashed person before. Can we leave the politics at the door? No, we cannot. We cannot leave the politics at the door. Sorry. It's important for people to understand the politics because it is invading the UFO community. It is clouding people's judgment, and it is impacting the narratives that are being spread. Does that make sense? The reason why we cannot leave the politics at the door is, A, this is a political issue. If you don't understand what we're talking about here, I'm telling you the United States government stole a Boeing 777 midair, and they're hiding technology that would change our entire planet forever. That is a political issue. No question, no doubt. You would argue it's the most important political issue. And we've got people out there that are all generally left-wing in the UFO disclosure community that are all ignoring the big question, what's the energy source? They're all ignoring the technology that would change our planet and instead focusing on how many aliens they can fuck before they die and which alien gives the best blowjobs. It's ridiculous. We shouldn't even be having the alien discussion until somebody can prove scientifically that we can create a wormhole. Because if we can't create a wormhole and we're limited to the speed of light at the very maximum, there is no way aliens are visiting us. Do you get what I'm saying? The closest star to us is 4 light years away. That means it takes light at the speed of light 4 years to get to the closest star. So the first question that we have to ask before we even begin to broach the question of alien visitation is, how are the aliens getting to us? They must have a mechanism of faster than light travel, right? So, false flag to start a war. False flag to start a war with anybody. That's an interesting thought. If we are blaming Iran for this, I could absolutely see them using this as a pretext, to get into a war with Iran. That's a reasonable one. Could be it. Coordination between the non-human intelligence and the government. Now, I will entertain this. Maybe, let's say, without going into the alien visitation, what if there's a splinter species of humans that we could call aliens that has breakaway civilization level technology? What if there is another breakaway human race that is underwater, living underwater with 0-point energy technology, and they have been infiltrating our government, and that we have some kind of relationship with them? People in the government have some kind of relationship with them. This is actually not even, it is a crazy theory, but this is something that's been floated quite a bit by UFOologists. And if this is the case, then perhaps the aliens, this would imply that the aliens or the demons, whatever you want to call them, are coming out of the ocean kind of as a show of force. They're coming out of the ocean, they're going, we control you, or don't mess with us, or whatever. I don't know. You could basically treat them like an adversary at that point. Basically like other adversary. Yeah, ultra-terrestrials. Now, before all of you guys go, that's crazy, there's no way, blah, blah, blah. I want you guys to realize Hal Puthoff, let me go full screen. Hal Puthoff, the guy that is the expert at zero-point energy with probably 24 scientific papers about zero-point energy to his name, for some reason in 2023, wrote a paper called the ultra-terrestrial hypothesis. That's pretty crazy for Hal Puthoff to all of a sudden be like, okay, I wrote all these papers about zero-point energy. Now I'm just going to go ahead and write a paper called ultra-terrestrial hypothesis. And it's all about what it would look like if there was a splinter species of breakaway humans or whatever, alien non-human intelligence, on our planet living with us side by side. And how it would basically interfere with our society. So, it seems ridiculous, but if it is aliens floating around, maybe they're coming from the ocean and they decided to come out because we pissed them off or something. Maybe they're like, hey, y'all humans are polluting too much in our oceans. And we came out here with our crazy technology, and now you need to step back. Step back off our oceans. Stop polluting our oceans. Like some kind of Saturday morning cartoon. I don't know. It's possible. It's possible. Okay, we got some more donations. Let me hit these. You have to ask where the drones and motherships origin. Oh, wait, okay, I already got that one. Thank you, Forerunner, for your donations, by the way. Not in the ocean. They're buried under Antarctica. Yeah, Antarctica is interesting, but I prefer the theory that Antarctica is just some kind of really advanced detecting or like radar type mechanism, like using gravity waves or something like that. But there certainly could be something weird going on in Antarctica, something ancient in Antarctica. Could happen. Yeah, Captain Planet is no joke, chat. I'm glad somebody else understood that reference and I didn't even have to say anymore. So bravo. Wait, who is Captain Planet? Good. Bravo to Good. You are, I can tell you're a legit person. Okay. Last one. Testing our response. So this one, I think I like this one the most. To be honest with you guys, now that we've talked through all these, I'm not any more decided than I was when we started this stream. I really have no fucking clue what's going on. But testing our response is interesting. Testing our response would imply private military contractors. Private military contractors. Why would we test this on U.S. soil? We might test it on U.S. soil because we don't want our drone technology or whatever to get hacked by Iran again. Remember, I brought up the 2011 incident where Iran literally hacked one of our drones and stole it and then reverse engineered it. So people would say, why do you not want to test your drones over adversary land? Because they're going to steal your shit. So you might say, we're going to test it over our space. And then you could also say, if you don't let the government know, like let's say you're the private military contractors, you've got your floaty orbs, and you would test it, but you don't want to let like local police or the FBI or anybody know that you're doing it because you want to see how they're able to respond. You want to test their response. What are they going to do? Can they shoot it down? How are they going to act? How are they going to respond? So I think that's a pretty interesting one as well. Testing our response. And testing our response could also have crossover with like the ultra-terrestrial alien hypothesis, could also have crossover with other adversaries or even our own military intelligence. So what do we think about those guys? So in the chat right now that we went through this list, I'll leave the list up here for you guys. I want to hear your opinions. So let's keep this simple. I want to see you spam the chat with which option up. Oh, which option do you think? Who do you think's responsible of this list up here? And then do a hyphen. And then which reason do you think they're doing it for? God, this is terrible. Okay, whatever. I'm not doing that. Okay, so tell me. I'll do an example in the chat for you guys right now. I'm going to say I believe it's PMCs and testing our response. Just like this. So there we go. Okay, so I'm just going to read off your guys' options. Anybody that uses the format that I just used, I'll put your response out there. So I said PMC's testing our response. PMC testing our response. USA Bluebeam. USA Bluebeam. Okay. U.S. military Bluebeam. Another testing our response. What else we got out there? U.S. military testing our response. You guys don't have to just copy me, by the way, chat. You're allowed to disagree as well. AI testing our response. I didn't actually talk about AI. There was a post that I deleted because I think it was a troll, but I do firmly believe we have much more advanced AI than the commercial has. What if AI just got already out of control? Like if we have AI 25 years more advanced than what the public knows about, that would be crazy if AI already hit the singularity and basically is now like gone completely out of control. Okay, PMC test. Oh, wait, what else we got? USA distraction. Yes, USA distraction. Certainly could be. MIC test. Yeah. Aliens from the ocean. Yep. Okay. What else we got? Aliens in quotation marks going on here. All of the above. Hobbyist? I don't know about hobbyist. Hobbyist is, this would be you'd have to be like, you know, some kind of elaborate setup for this to be some kind of hobbyist, in my opinion. U.S. deep state coup. Yeah. U.S. military blue beam false flag. Yeah, there we go. There we go. Okay, I'm going to skip that one. USA testing public reaction and response time. U.S. military show of force. U.S. military show of force. That's an interesting combination. We're testing a show of force against our own people? Interesting. PMC test. Okay. False flag for Iran. Yeah, it could be the PMCs that are doing the false flag for Iran as well. Holograms. I don't know about holograms, but maybe. I'm not going to rule it out. I mean, I think we live in a holographic universe, so advanced holograms could be. Iran intimidation. Interesting. More aliens from the oceans. DEI aliens waking up humanity. Not on the list, but we're going to allow it. We're going to allow it. Guys, the far left liberal aliens have shown up finally. They've finally shown up to send us on the right path. Drumpf won, guys. Drumpf won. And now the aliens had to show up to make sure that we have the proper amount of diversity, equity, inclusion. Could be. Could be. Okay. I can't get through the rest of these, but I want to point out, oh my God, there's so many comments, chat. I'm like 100 comments behind. I'm going to do the super chats. Trans aliens chat. We don't even know if aliens even have a sex. Let me get through this last super chat. Oh, and thank you, Chupanochi. I don't know how to say your name. Thank you very much. Appreciate you. Daniel Gorbia. Could be domestic terrorists testing the response. Yeah, I think domestic terrorists testing the response is basically private military contractors testing the response. Domestic terrorists and private military contractors are basically just interchangeable. Basically interchangeable. What I want to point out is this, guys. Did you see how many different responses you guys had in there? It goes to show we know basically nothing about what's going on with this drone thing, which is crazy because this has been going on for weeks. This has been going on for weeks, guys. And we have absolutely no idea what's happening. The only thing I thought was interesting, I don't think I saw anybody say China or Russia. I don't think anybody said China or Russia. What I will say is that China, if we have this advanced zero-point energy technology, then China has to be catching up. China has to be catching up. Like China knows what's going on. And people say, Ashton, why do you think that? What I want to tell you is this. If you look at Sal Pais's patent for the magnetically confined plasma fusion reaction device, you will find there are 3 Chinese teams referencing that patent in their own scientific papers. Now, let me repeat that to you guys. Salvatore Pais's magnetically confined plasma fusion patent, which within it tells you how to amplify energy to infinity, has 3 Chinese teams referencing his patent. Not just like one person, like a teams on each of those. There are no people from the United States referencing his patent. What does this mean? This means China is taking Salvatore Pais's patents very seriously. And the United States is not. That's actually scary to me. Like, we need to be taking his patent seriously because it's real physics. And to just dismiss it as pseudoscience is crazy. Sal Pais is a genius. And if he's telling the truth that he came up with those ideas all on his own, then that is incredible. Because I look at those things, and all of those patents are ideas that people have been spreading related to zero-point energy for years. And I'm sure he knows the people that came before, but to come up with all of those concepts, even though they've already been found out before, it's extremely significant. Because keep in mind, he didn't just come up with a patent for inertial mass reduction for transmedium craft. He also has the patent for the magnetically confined fusion plasma, and also has the patent for the superconductor, the room temperature superconductor. And he has a patent for a gravity wave. These are all extreme. Any one of these would win a Nobel Prize. Any one of them would win a Nobel Prize. And he's got 5. That would be 5 Nobel Prizes. That's how crazy it is that his patents have basically just been getting ignored. Do you guys realize there is an active Navy engineer with 5 UFO patents that are just based on zero-point energy that is happy to come on my podcast and literally said he knew what was going to happen in the MH370 videos? Think through that for a second. Why would Salvatore Pais risk talking to someone like me, a conspiracy theorist, talking about the craziest shit possible? Isn't this, like, he even says he is in the academia community. That's where he grew up. That's where he, was born and bred in that environment. Most people would never talk to somebody like me, not specifically about those videos, because it could discredit them. The reason why Sal is going out on a limb to talk to somebody like me about those videos is because he knows it's real. He knows that science and technology is real. He knows it's real. It's not a question for him. He's not sitting there wondering. It's not even a situation where it's hypothetical. He knows it's 100% real. Even if he thought it was just hypothetical, he wouldn't talk to me. Basically, the only situation where someone like Sal, who's under heavy NDAs, who works for the Navy actively as an engineer, the only reason why he would talk to me about that is because he knows it's legit. And guys, of course, the Space Force and the Navy are gatekeeping zero-point energy. That's like the least surprising thing about this. Of course they are. I don't even blame them for gatekeeping it. I just think that the people that know, how do they sleep at night? How do you sleep at night knowing that we have access to energy technologies and things like teleportation, like literal teleportation, that would just change our entire society, like instantly? Like tomorrow, people would just start rebuilding society based around free energy. How do you sleep at night hiding that? I don't get that. That's crazy to me. Let me hit some of these other ones. Google Willow Quantum chip projecting an image for us to see based on immaculate constellation concepts. Yeah, I did. I already looked into the Google quantum chip. It's very interesting. Quantum computers obviously are extremely powerful, but I don't think that they're projecting imaginary images. That's just kind of silly. It's just too complicated. The answer is that we're just seeing real stuff there. What they're using the quantum computers for is like vectoring in three-dimensional environments, right? Like what you see with the orbs spinning around the plane. That's the kind of thing I imagine quantum computers would be used for. And I tried to get Sabine Hassenfelder to tell me what she thinks the quantum computers are for. But I don't think that the mainstream academia community really has any good grasp of what you would really use a quantum computer for. The number one thing that everybody says is encryption breaking. Of course, you can break any encryption. Great. But obviously, there's going to be more uses for it than just that. Could China play in war games and warning the USA and NATO for continuing escalating more wars before Trump gets in? Or maybe space ghost pirates. You know what? I'm adding space ghost pirates to the list. Okay. We're adding space ghost pirates to this. But yes, of course, it could be some war games, China thing. That's kind of on our list here. That could be a show of force, basically, and including China. It could be a lot of things, guys. It can actually be a lot of things. Okay. Let me see if you have any other questions. I saw somebody in the chat asking for an email address. I do not give my email address out publicly. The best you can do is to reach out to me would be to hit my replies up on Twitter when I'm active and have me see it. One thing as well is I muchly prefer if you tell me exactly what it's about, because 99% of the time when this happens, it's usually somebody trying to show me a video of something they recorded, or somebody trying to tell me to make a crypto coin. Usually one of those two things. Which, why am I not making a crypto coin? Do you see what's happening to the Hawk Tua girl right now? If not, look her name up on Twitter. We're not making any crypto coins anytime soon. Okay. Do I know Dick Gregory? Yes. Okay, so the other thing I want to point out, guys, is that I don't think there's anything about MH370 anywhere on the internet that I don't know about at this point. Like everything. Yes, I know about Dickie Gregory. Unfortunately, he's wrong about the patent holders. That's not true. Those people were not on board the plane. I think he's right about Diego Garcia, and I think he's right about those engineers being the reason for the plane. It's just not those 4 specific engineers. Yeah, what is that? Dude. Okay. So I want to point out, do I know about the Muffin Man? The Muffin Man can. Okay. Jeez. I hope 0 Point Energy is coming soon, guys. Teleport on that thing. No, that was not a moth, guys. That was like a monster, whatever that creature was. I saw it. It was on my computer screen. It's like white. I thought it was a spider. It's huge. Okay, any last questions before we close out for tonight, guys? Thank you guys for being here for me tonight on this late Wednesday stream. I just wanted to go over this. I am going to try to get some clips out there. I also want to throw a special thank you to We Are the Change from the Discord, who just made like a dozen clips from the Tom Montauk interview, which I will be posting. So if you didn't check out Tom Montauk interview, check that out. Also check out the Salvatore Pais interview. I missed a super chat. Let me see. Quantum, Google, Willow, China, domestic terrorists. I'll just go through all the super chats again. I hit this one. Navy, gatekeeping, terrorist response with that. I think we got all of them. Oh, wait, this is the one I missed. Thank you, Found and Lost. If those orbs can teleport an airplane, could the technology be commercialized and used as a way to speed up air travel? Yeah, of course it can. Of course. 100%. Speed up air travel. I mean, why have air travel at all? Air travel's gone. If we can teleport stuff, then, it's, what was that? Not an ocean. Then we can just make portals. We might be able to make a literal Stargate. We might be able to make a little Stargate and just walk through it. And we don't need air travel at all anymore. I would argue that air travel is probably going to disappear entirely. And then we would just use like some kind of warp drive if we want to go intermediate distances. like to the moon or something like that. But really, we can just teleport everywhere. Yeah, I saw the thing about the Pope and the portals. That was actually pretty funny. I liked it. I actually read about it. It's not like real portals. They're just doors they're opening it up. They call portals. They're like ceremonial. I thought about retweeting it, but it's a little too sensationalist for my taste. Facebook CEO Mark Zuckerberg has donated to President Trump. This guy is the biggest fence sitter ever. Mark Zuckerberg wants to be liked so badly that it's just awkward as shit. It's just awkward. Yeah, time dilation is a bit of a problem with teleportation. Like, what's going to happen? I don't think we really understand that yet. Are you going to instantly appear on the other side? Or is there going to be a delay? Meaning that you go through the doorway, but you show up, let's say it's tomorrow when you get on the other side. You're like, wait, what? Because that would be very disorienting. That'd be very disorienting if you go through a portal and now it's tomorrow. And you're like, wait, what? What just happened? But then you go back through the portal and now it's another day later. But for you, the time hasn't changed. So I am planning my next interview with Hard Truths is going to be with Professor Simon Holland. You guys probably know Professor Simon Holland. I've been on his show a couple times. I'm going to chat with Professor Simon Holland about orbs, faster than light communication. We're going to talk about the current drone excursions. And we're going to talk about the Rendlesham Forest incident, which I don't know much about the Rendlesham Forest incident other than supposedly it's related to ball lightning. I probably will try to reach out and make contact with Joseph P. Farrell. I don't have a way to get in touch with him at the moment, but I probably will try and see if he's interested. The reason being, he literally called exactly what happened to the plane. And for some reason, he doesn't believe the videos, or maybe he does. I don't know. Now, I do want to point out as well, I have two other people, guests, that I've pretty much locked up for Hard Truths. I'm not going to say who they are. I will give you a clue. One of them is a physicist, like legit 100% PhD physicist. And we're going to talk about some quantum mechanics stuff and things like that. And these might get canceled, but I doubt it. I pretty much, setting them up. And that's going to be a great conversation I'm not going to dig into MH370 stuff with them. I just want to talk like actual physics with somebody. So we're going to have a few different topics. We're going to talk about stuff like that with Tom Holland. Professor Simon Holland. We're going to talk to physicists. And then I'm also, we're going to talk to somebody. What do I give away without spoiling it? Okay, I know. We're going to talk to somebody about time travel as well. Time travel. So the third guest will be somebody that we're going to talk about time travel and 0-point energy and things related to that as well. So they're going to be some pretty awesome interviews. I think you guys are going to enjoy them. So check out the Hard Truths podcast, guys. And then lastly, as I said before, I will tease it again. I'm also going on a pretty big interview next week. I think it'll probably be posted sometime around Christmas time. Going to be talking about free energy, plasma orbs, all the good stuff, some MH370 stuff. So check that out. Okay, guys. I hope you guys have a great night. This was a good discussion. Friday is going to be our next live stream. And on Friday, we are going to talk about how to amplify energy to infinity and create a big bang or a black hole that wipes out our entire planet and our entire solar system and maybe even our entire galaxy or our entire universe. And we're going to try to figure out, how to get some attention on the stuff that we're doing. Because if this is all fake, then there would be no reason to censor us when we're talking about making black hole super weapons. But if it's real, then I don't know. Maybe I'll get a copyright strike. We'll find out. Okay, guys. Have a great night. Love you guys. Thank you for all my mods in the chat as well. Thank you for all the super chatters. You guys are awesome. Oh, I missed one. Any future plans to work with Dan Winter? Not at the moment. Not at the moment. I think Dan Winter is probably on point, but I'm not as big into the unifying consciousness and everything together. I mean, I think it's actually correct, but I'm really trying to keep it mostly grounded in hard physics at the moment. We might get to the point where we talk with Dan Winter, though. Thank you very much, guys. Hit the like button. Have a great night. Let's talk again. And remember, S. Beers, Sentinel of the Night.
Infrared eyes, scanning the black, tracking the heat, never turning back. Control 22, a covert gaze. Control 33, in the cosmic maze. Controls in the mix, secrets untold. Silent watchers, brave and bold. In the shadows, they silently glide, protecting our interest, far and wide. S-Beers, sentinel of the night, watching over with infrared sight, alerting us to threats afar, guiding our defenses like a guiding star. In the silence of space, they keep their post, shields unseen yet feared the most. With precision and speed, they warn of danger, keeping us safe from the missile's anger. As Beers, sentinel of the night, watching over with infrared sight, alerting us to threats afar, guiding our defenses like a guiding star. Controls in the mix, secrets untold, silent watchers, brave and bold. In the shadows, they silently glide, protecting our interest, far and wide. As Beers, sentinel of the night, watching over with infrared sight, alerting us to threats afar, guiding our defenses